Three Cups of Tea by Greg Mortensen and David Oliver Relling is an inspiring book about how one man's failure can lead to the transformation of hundreds of people's lives. The story begins in 1993 when Greg Mortensen, an American, attempts to climb K2, the second highest mountain in northern Pakistan. Mortensen desired to reach the top of K2 to honor his deceased sister. After 70 days on the mountain, Mortensen and three other climbers had their ascent interrupted by a rescue mission for a fellow climber. This life-saving rescue mission took 75 hours to complete and left Mortensen and other fellow climbers too exhausted to finish their ascent to the peak. During his descent down the mountain, Mortensen was so tired and disoriented, he wandered away from his group. Mortensen was found by two local Balti porters who took him to the small village of Korp. In the village, Mortensen was greeted and taken in by the chief elder. While still recovering, Mortensen was able to observe the village's school. Here he observed 84 children sitting outside, scratching their lessons into the dirt. It was here that Mortensen learned that the village could not afford to pay a full-time teacher. The salary for a full-time teacher was $1 American a day. It was there that Mortensen promised the leader of the village that he would one day return and build the village a school. Motivated to fulfill his promise, Greg Mortensen returned to America seeking monetary support for his goal of building a school. Mortensen wrote letters to businessmen, celebrities, and other prominent Americans asking for their support. Frustrated in his early efforts, Mortensen convinced Gene Orney, a Silicon Valley pioneer, to give money for the school. Mortensen convinced Orney to found the Central Asia Institute. This nonprofit organization's goal was to promote education and literacy, especially for girls in the remote mountain regions of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Once Mortensen finished raising the funds he needed, he faced many challenges during his efforts to complete his goal. Mortensen faced death threats, CIA investigations, and an 8-day armed kidnapping by the Taliban. However, in 1996, despite all the difficulty he was facing, Mortensen fulfilled his promise by building a school in the small village of Korp. The book continues with Mortensen facing many trials and tribulations, from physical danger to challenges raising funds. Three Cups of Tea concludes its brilliant detail of how Mortensen eventually built 55 schools in a Taliban territory. This book is an inspirational story of how one man can change the world. Mortensen, an American who desired to honor his sister's life by climbing K2. However, through his failure, he discovered his true calling. His humanitarian efforts can be used as a prime example of how one person with determination and courage can influence change. People who believe that their sole efforts do not matter on a global scale can be shown through Mortensen's work that their belief is wrong. Anyone with motivation, bravery, character, and a purpose can do amazing things. Greg Mortensen is a living example of how an ordinary person's efforts can affect the lives of hundreds of people.